Contact us to avail the combo offer of General Studies and Public Administration optional with 20% discount.
Good morning everyone. Today we are going to have the Hindu analysis of 7th August 2021. Okay, so let us see which are the important articles from today's The Hindu newspaper. Yes, these are the important articles related to mains examination, majority of the articles, developments in international relations. Let us see which are these articles. First of all, we will take overview and then we will discuss them one by one. First, retrospective taxation policy. So recently the finance minister announced the changes in the taxation policy of the earlier government, which was retrospective taxation. 2013 it was introduced, and therefore let's say the investment in Indian economy suffered because of this. Okay, so that's why the decision is reversed now. So what are these issues with different cases like Vodafone case and Kane Energy case? So we have to understand those cases. At the same time, as a analysis to this particular issue and way forward, we have to understand some policy inputs. So from GS2 paper, governance aspect, we have to take input here. Then another important article on page number 6, editorial page, reopening of schools in India. It is talking about need of reopening the schools for appropriate development of the children. At the same time, the challenges, risk which are involved in reopening, and how we need to be prepared ourselves for reopening of such schools and protecting children from further infections of this COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, so from human resource development and governance, GS2 paper, so we are expecting such question, or even essay topic. We need to understand that school education has suffered in last 1.5 years, so we are expecting essay topic also from this area. Next, Biden government non-committal on support for India's UNSC bid. So the, let's say the analysis here, it is being done. Earlier two presidents of US, they had committed, let's say, India's contendership for UNSC permanent seat, but at present, since last 1 year completion of new president of US, they have not committed to such cause, India's, let's say, membership to permanent membership to UNSC. So this aspect is understood here. At the same time, the article mentions about G4 grouping and coffee club. Okay, so which are these grouping and their intentions? From prelims perspective also, that is important. Next, Colombo Security Conclave virtual meeting recently happened between India, Sri Lanka and Maldives. They talked about the security aspects. They discussed cooperation on the 4 pillars of the security in Indian Ocean region. So we have to understand which are these 4 pillars and how these countries are uniting once again for more intelligence gathering and sharing with each other, so as to tackle these important security challenges in the maritime area. Okay, so this is important again from international relations IR section. Now, India China pull back troops from Gogra. Okay, so recently 12th Commander Corps level talks that happened between Indian Army and Chinese Army. So yes, now after that the decision has been finalized for further disengagement at Gogra Heights region. This is second such decision after February month, where the disengagement was done at Pongyong So Lake. Okay, so this is the follow for India-China standoff since last 1 year that is going on, and at present the de-escalation disengagement process. Finally, Iran-India can play a useful role. Yes, our external affairs minister has visited Iran and, let's say, participated in swearing in this ceremony of Iranian president, newly elected Iranian president. So he met with him. At the same time, they had some, let's say, common views, concerns discussed in that meeting. So regarding especially Afghanistan peace process. So as a follow-up to that part, what are the outcomes of that visit, we have to understand. Then 150 years of iconic artist Abhinendranath Tagore. So we are celebrating 150 years of iconic artists. Yes, this is important from modern history and art and culture perspective. Why? Because the particular person has a significant contribution in Swadeshi movement. Okay, so what is that contribution? We will understand that. Then recently Prime Minister announced that Khel Ratna renamed after Major Dhyan Chand. Okay, so earlier Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna was the name. Now it will be called Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna Award. Okay, so these are the prelims related developments, and finally practice prelims MCQs. Yes, so let us discuss this. Rewind to fast forward. This particular editorial on page number 6, it is talking about recent decision of Finance Minister to reverse retrospective taxation policy that was introduced by Pranab Mukherjee in 2013 by UPA government at that time, we can say. Okay, so this is reversed now. You should understand that why such decisions are taken. So Kane Energy and earlier Vodafone had filed cases for such kind of retrospective taxation which goes against, we can say, national and international legal, or we can say laws of these home countries of these companies. At the same time, we should understand that such kind of retrospective taxation is a retrograde measure, especially in terms of promoting the investment by these MNCs or foreign companies into the country. If such kind of retrospective taxation is applied, then what will happen is the companies will not be investing in the country. Okay, so therefore we should understand that in Vodafone and Kane Energy case, in both cases, the international tribunals gave awards in favor of companies. And yes, Indian government fought hard but lost in, let's say, protecting and upholding the taxation that Indian government had applied, retrospective taxation in 2012 and 13. Okay, so we should understand that these are the two important cases in this regard. Recently even France court, one of the France court had agreed to freeze Indian assets in France by this Kane Energy company. Okay, so such kind of developments, in the backdrop of such kind of developments, now the government has reversed this decision, and this is good thing. First of all, in analysis we should understand that this is the ad hoc approach to this policy of taxation, and unless and until we do not have consistency in taxation policy, the foreign companies will not have trust, and when there is no trust, it will affect the investment. When there is no trust, it will affect the long-term investment in terms of FDI, okay, foreign direct investment. So therefore we should understand that the trust needs to be built through the credible policies. So we need to improve our credibility, and credibility will be there when there is stable taxation policies in the country. Okay, stable, transparent, clear taxation policies. Use these words in your answer whenever we are talking about such taxation policies here. Okay, so in this manner, this is good development. Further, it will help in improvement in the taxation. But what we need to do is bringing transparency, clarity and consistency in the taxation policy. So as a conclusion, you can write down this. Fine? Yes, any question here? Okay, moving on. India's school children need their childhood back. Okay, so this particular article, again it is talking about reopening of schools, need, challenges, way forward. So overall discussion is done, very good content in general words, what we can say, we can directly use them in your essay paper. Such kind of language is used in this article. So you can use this in your answers while writing essay paper, essay topic also. So yes, what article is talking, first of all, the impact of closure of the schools on children development. Okay, yes, the impact is very much pronounced. So for example, first of all, physical and psychological, physical, intellectual, social and psychological. You can divide your answer like this: impact, so psychological development of the child. So school is not only about, let's say, gaining the knowledge, imparting the knowledge to the children, rather it is the overall development of that child, overall development in terms of intellectual, physical, social, psychological development. Okay, so the child learns through, let's say, learns different values like sharing, caring, while, let's say, interacting with other peers, interacting with elders or teachers. So such kind of social skills and the psychological development also happens. Some physical activities in terms of sports activities in school, so physical development, and we can say some cognitive developments in terms of gaining knowledge, let's say the comprehension skills, arithmetic skills, and overall development is very important, especially the primary schools, primary education and elementary education. The second aspect, you should understand that there is a disproportionate impact. Okay, so disproportionate impact between haves and haves not. We can understand that the online education, this has been, let's say, the remained the domain of those who have the access to the education in terms of, we can say, internet connection or the smartphones, laptops, tabloids availability, and we can understand there is huge digital divide in the country, and those who are not having access to this is problem. Third thing, we should understand that when the children are at home, they are facing different challenges. Okay, so what kind of challenges they are facing? We can understand that the psychological challenges. Okay, so children are facing many problems, like they are facing depression, anxiety, increased level of anxiety in them, as they are not able to go out for, let's say, different kind of activities. Children are not supposed to remain at home. Basically, we all know that, we have gone through that stage. So they are facing such kind of anxiety, and we can also understand that continuous exposure to the devices, digital devices, that is also affecting their health. Okay, so yes, the problem to eyes, vision, that is also, we can say, the problem. Obesity is increasing by remaining at home, not having any outdoor activities. Write down all such kind of impact. Okay, you can write a complete essay topic on, let's say, the impact and overall all this, the issue that we are discussing here. Next, we should understand expert opinion on reopening of the schools. First thing, we should understand that World Health Organization and AIMS Sero survey was conducted, and it said that more than 50% of children in India had antibodies for coronavirus. This shows that there is, let's say, the children have been already exposed to this virus, and therefore it reduces further impact of this virus on the children. The second thing, you should also understand that various studies also had shown that the severity of the disease among the children is very less. Severity of the disease among the children is very less. Okay, so this is also very important aspect to be considered before reopening of the school. Other such studies that were done by World Bank, then Children's Hospital Mumbai and Lancet COVID-19 Commission, India Task Force, so they have shown the similar kind of let's say results here and recommendations they have given about reopening. Now, but we should also understand that there is challenge before reopening. We should plan what kind of planning that is required, the measures that should be in place. First thing we should understand that there should be, let's say, vaccination of all staff. Vaccination of all staff, teachers, other, let's say, auxiliary staff that is there in the schools. Okay, so they should be vaccinated. Then there should be some kind of training to this staff in terms of ensuring COVID-19 appropriate behavior, not only among them but also explaining children, their parents when they are visiting schools. So other people who are entering into the school environment, so they should be made aware about importance of such kind of behavior. At the same time, the infrastructure. Now, infrastructure should be in such a manner that a dual approach should be taken here. First of all, offline as well as online, because many parents will not allow their children, they will not be confident enough, and therefore they will not allow their children to go to the schools. Okay, so some children will be learning in offline manner, some children will be given online education, and in this manner the infrastructure and training to the teachers simultaneously should be given. So for that purpose, preparation is required in advance. Fourth thing we should understand in terms of, let's say, preparing manual of, let's say, COVID-19 measures that are taken. At the same time, this information should be given or communicated to all the stakeholders. This manual, the information which is mentioned in this manual, this should be communicated to especially parents. The parents should be convinced that their children are safe, they are in safe environment. This is very important, and then only the parents will send their children in the schools. So all these measures, including, we can say, the first aid and other measures wherein immediate support of the medical facilities is also made available whenever needed. So such kind of steps are required. Fine. So write down such measures before reopening, and yes, surely there is risk. There will be risk, of course. Yes, when the children are coming in contact with each other, and it is not expected that each and every child will understand the severity of the issue, and therefore there may be infections. But first thing we should understand that the parents, teachers should be, let's say, responsible enough to make aware about the that child is feeling ill, and the parents should be advised to keep the child at home when the child is ill, and the appropriate treatment needs to be given. Isolation is very important, appropriate at appropriate time. At the same time, the parents should be understanding that the risk of, let's say, getting infected is less as compared to the risk of the children's all development we talked about. Okay, so the psychological, intellectual, social and physical development, losing on that front is let's say major impact as compared to the infection, because the studies have said that they are not going to develop the severe disease. Okay, so in this manner we should understand the major concern about reopening of school is that the children will bring back the infections at home and the elders will get infected. But yes, for that purpose the parents should be responsible enough to get vaccinated, all of them first. All the members, elder members of the home, they should get vaccinated first. Then there will be reduced risk. Right. So in this manner you can write all the points. Now question, discuss the need and challenges for reopening of the schools in India. What measures are required to be placed before such a reopening of the schools? Straightforward question can be expected here. Fine? Yes, any question? Okay, now moving on to next. Biden government non-committal on support for India's UNSC bid, United Nations Security Council. Okay, so here we are talking about United Nations Security Council, the permanent membership. Yes, UNSC has total 15 members. Among these 15 members, 5 are permanent, 10 are non-permanent. 10 are non-permanent, and the 10 are elected on bi-yearly or biannual basis for 2-year term. This year we have been also elected for 2-year term for up to 2022. Okay, so India is member, but it is non-permanent member at present. So there are total 5 permanent members. Which are these members? China, Russia, USA, France, UK. Okay, so these are the members, 5 permanent members. Now, earlier governments, US government, under Obama and Trump administration, they had supported India's, let's say, a permanent seat in Security Council. Okay, the expanded council, UNSC reforms that we are continuously advocating, right? But the present government has not yet committed for such kind of permanent seat for India. Okay, so we should understand some basic information about this, that G4 grouping. Which are these 4 countries in G4 grouping? India, Japan, Germany and Brazil. Remember this G4 grouping, many times it is in news. This advocates for UNSC reforms, expanded UNSC council, and it making it more representative body. Making it more representative body for, let's say, the present kind of representing the present situation in world scenario. However, Uniting for Consensus, UFC, which is also known as Coffee Club. Now these countries like Pakistan, South Korea, Italy and Argentina, they oppose such kind of UNSC reforms or expansion of UNSC. Okay, so remember both G4 countries and Coffee Club, Uniting for Consensus. Fine. So yes, this is the basic, and then India is currently in 2021 and 22 non-permanent member of UNSC and is president for the month of August at present 2021. Okay, so this is the basic information that you should know about this UNSC. Now moving on, India, Sri Lanka and Maldives to collaborate on security. Yes, surely this is also important. In terms of maritime security, Colombo Security Conclave virtual meeting happened. This initiative that started in 2011, this is initiative of Sri Lankan government. So this is after gap of 6 years, this meeting has happened, and the 3 countries, India, Sri Lanka and Maldives, who participate in this conclave, agreed to work on 4 pillars of security. Okay, so yes, security cooperation covering the areas of, first thing, marine security, human trafficking, counter terrorism and 4th, cyber security. These 4 pillars of security cooperation. So they have, let's say, worked upon this and they have agreed to expand scope of intelligence sharing. So this is very important. This, we can say that the talks on the maritime security in Indian Ocean, this is very important because our interest in Indian Ocean, the geopolitics of Indian Ocean region, for that purpose India is playing dominant role, and these small island nations like Maldives and we can say Sri Lanka, so they are cooperating with us. This is good news. Okay. So remember Colombo Security Conclave, whenever the question is talking about maritime security in Indian Ocean region, okay, or geopolitics of Indian Ocean region, that comes the maritime security and the 4 pillars of that security cooperation among the different countries in Indian Ocean region. So conclave, Colombo Security Conclave meeting. Fine? Yes. Now, post talks, India China pull back troops from Gogra. So recently 12th round of corps commander level talks that happened between 2 armies of India and China, and after that the final decision has been taken to disengage on the front in the location of Gogra Heights in Ladakh region. So this is good thing. After this is the second friction area from which disengagement has been carried out after Pongyang-so in February. After Pongyang-so region in February. Okay, so this is continuous process that is going on, and this is positive developments to reduce tensions between two countries along LAC. Fine? Yes. Iran India can play a useful role. So yes, there was, let's say, meeting of our external affairs minister with Iranian president, and our external affairs minister participated in newly elected president's swearing in ceremony, and there was, let's say, talks between the two leaders here. And what is the outcome statement? Iran and India can play constructive and useful role in ensuring security in region, especially in Afghanistan, and Tehran welcomes New Delhi's role in establishment of security in Afghanistan. So we can understand that both countries are on the same page when the collaboration, or they are talking about the regional peace and peace in Afghanistan. You should also understand that yesterday we discussed the same issue, that both countries have been left out of Troika Plus talks. Troika Plus. What is this Troika? Troika is the grouping of US, Russia and China on Afghanistan, and this is, let's say, added by Pakistan. So there will be meeting in coming week of the August of this Troika Plus, and both regional powers, Iran and India, they have been left out of this Troika Plus meeting. So both are having this concern here. Okay, so yes, this is good thing that that is happening, because already the tensions between India and Iran relations were going on, and both countries under new leadership of Iran are looking forward for further cooperation in different areas. Yes. Celebrations begin to mark 150 years of iconic artist. Yes, who is this iconic artist? Abhinendranath Tagore. So he was nephew of Rabindranath Tagore, and the creator, also let's say, we can say, helped shape modern Indian art and was creator of iconic Bharat Mata painting at that time. Okay, so what is his contribution during the Swadeshi movement? So you should know some specific points here. This is important for both prelims as well as mains examination. So during Swadeshi movement, we focused on, let's say, what we can say, Swadeshi, that is whatever the our past was there. So glorification of the past, Indian traditions, and now here some of the artists focused on bringing back the glory in the art sector. Okay, so ancient and medieval times art was, let's say, for example, motivation from Ajanta caves paintings, or it also took motivation from, let's say, the Mughal and Rajput styles of paintings. Okay, so the person here we are talking about, contribution of Abhinendranath Tagore, was the first major exponent of artistic idiom that sought to modernize Mughal and Rajput style in order to counter influence of Western models of art under colonial regime. So that's why he tried to revive Swadeshi in art. Okay, his unique interpretation of Swadeshi themes created new awakening and heralded in a revival of Indian art. Major contribution, we can say, along with his brothers, Indian Society of Oriental Art was founded in Calcutta in 1907 during this Swadeshi movement. Okay, so this is important thing that you should know, know about Indian history and art and culture, modern art. So revival of ancient and medieval Indian art, painting styles especially. So this was done by Abhinendranath Tagore, especially during Swadeshi movement. Remember about this Indian Society of Oriental Art for prelims examination. Yes, okay. And finally, Khel Ratna named after Major Dhyan Chand. This will be now called as Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna. Earlier it was Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award. Okay, so the highest award given in the sports field. Now Major Dhyan Chand, a 3-time Olympic gold medalist, is considered India's greatest hockey player. You know the decision, why decision was taken. So we can understand the revival of glory that present men's as well as women's hockey team has done in the Olympic Games. So bronze medal, the medal, Olympic medal won by men's hockey team after 41 years. In 1980, India won gold medal. After that, there was no medal won in the Olympic Games. So this is good thing. At the same time, unfortunately, the women's failed to win the medal, but surely the 4th ranking is also, we can say, commendable, and we need to appreciate those efforts. And in the backdrop of these developments, the Prime Minister announced this Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna renaming of this award. Okay, at the same time, his birthday on 29th August marks the National Sports Day that we celebrate in the country. Major Dhyan Chand. Fine? Yes. Now, what should be answer to this question? Try to attempt this.
B, sir. B, beta.
B for beta. Yes. Other students?
B, sir. B.
Okay. Yes. So we have to find the correct statements here. Right. So let us see. First statement, UN Security Council has total 15 members. Yes, this is correct statement. India is a member of UNSC at present. This is also correct statement. At the same time, third statement, Coffee Club is group of countries which advocate for UNSC expansion. This is incorrect. Coffee Club does not advocate, rather it opposes for UNSC expansion. G4 grouping advocate for UNSC expansion. Okay, so that's why answer should be 1 and 3. Do not get confused about UNSC membership and UNSC permanent membership. UPSC may play with these words while framing the statements. Okay, so we know that whenever we talk about any discussion about UNSC reform, India is not member, India wants to be member of UNSC. But you should understand that UNSC has total 15 members and non-permanent members, 10 members, they are elected for 2-year term. So for that purpose, India has been elected for next 2 years. So at present, it is member. Fine? Yes. So good. You have identified correctly. B is the correct answer. Fine? Yes. These were important articles. Any question about this?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
India is also currently the president, has been according to the status of president of India. So this duration of presidency is for how much, sir? I got the information it's for 1 year, sir. See, sir.
I believe that it let's say the presidentialship is actually rotating among the non-permanent and permanent members. Okay, so I believe that exactly I am not let's say knowing about this how that is done, but surely that is being done among the members. Okay, so that is rotated among the members, and I do not know exactly how they follow. They follow the acronym or the region wise. But yes, surely tomorrow I will explain that part to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Any other question? Okay then. So let us stop today. We will meet tomorrow, a day after tomorrow, for Sunday as well as Monday's newspaper analysis. Okay? Fine. Thank you.
Contact us to avail the combo offer of General Studies and Public Administration optional with 20% discount.